Welcome to Gray Areas for February 3rd, 2026, episode 710. I hear myself. That's a good start. Everything seems to be fine. Dave is in the frame. Everyone's in the frame.
Are you echoing again, Dave? You'd have to talk.
You have to talk.
I didn't hear a word you said. I'm sorry.
Oh.
So
He said, Dave, are you echoing again? Nom, 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 nom.
He's not.
See, I didn't know because all I heard was blah, 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 blah,
No,
blah.
no,
So
that's-
now I'm talking.
That was not my fault. That
I
you did
love,
not
by
hear
the
what
way,
I'm
that
saying.
his dinner or after running dog walking snack is just a bunch of what 6-year-olds eat, but in protein form, because
Yeah.
it's just Cheez-Its and cookies. I'm looking over here watching him eat.
That is my 6-year-old's favorite snack, actually.
Cheez-Its and
Cookies
chocolate
and
chip cookies.
Yeah. Oh yeah, he loves them.
It's just
Sean,
really
you're
That's
wrong.
funny.
different. Like this is just dessert. Everybody loves cookies.
I know, it's just really funny that's where like the protein thing has circled back
No,
to.
But if
Is
I
just
only
getting children's food
if
protein.
I only ate like fucking mac and cheese,
No, it's just the snack you're eating right now. It
I
was
know,
your-
but everybody likes cookies.
I know.
You can have protein mac and cheese. You can have that, and then you can have protein cookies.
Protein mac and cheese pretty good actually. The goodles.
See, there you go.
Have you tried
Goodles?
the creamy goodles?
I've tried all of them.
The creamy goodles are so much better than the
The
powder
powder ones,
goodles.
yes, because they just started making those as the knockoff Velveeta box. 'Cause
Yeah.
now it's the horizontal box rather than the vertical
I
box.
don't know why. I was like, what's going on? And
Yes,
that's why.
it's because it's the Velveeta version. Yes,
Yeah, I don't know why it made them change the box orientation, but
because they're just copying what Kraft does. It was a vertical box for the powder, and it was a horizontal bigger box for the goo.
that's interesting. See, there's this historical context I don't know.
They're
about
ripping off the
Velveeta.
marketing. Anyway.
By the way, Callie and I made a run to Dunkin' last week, and they had protein-infused coffee at Dunkin',
Yes.
and I was like,
Yeah.
we are officially going too far with protein.
Yes,
This is a cyclical thing. Do you remember about 10-ish years ago, maybe 15 years ago, when bacon was everything? Baconalia, Baconzilla. It's just the thing right now. This is just a little more
I don't know about the
general,
thing.
I
I
guess,
don't know about the
Well-
thing because protein that people are like, oh, actually, protein is good too.
it's like, but like
ingest.
HelloFresh is also doing like super proteined meals and stuff like that for extra 99 cents. It's like this
Yeah.
again. There's these. It's like protein's healthy. It's just that fast food and major things are now being like, "Well, we're a protein packed." Blah blah blah. Again, it's like we used to spend everything doing pretzel buns for every single fast food restaurant. We go through these vibes where
Yeah.
everyone wants to build off each other. We were having the chicken sandwich wars. Chicken sandwiches are the thing that everyone should now needs to sell and all that crap. We just do the thing. It's not like the protein brands like that. It's like mass marketed to. Again, Dunkin' Donuts is a weird one. honestly.
Yeah, right.
I mean, but if they can jump on the train, because Starbucks did it as well.
Yes.
Starbucks has protein drinks
Yeah,
too.
they have for a
They
while.
all have
Dunkin'-
spies in each other's companies that tell the other ones, hey, we're developing this. And then everyone just all of a sudden puts out their themed thing all at the same fucking time. And everyone has a version of it.
What's funny is that half of this ends up being copycat and just trying to like imitate the success of competitors, but someone still has to pitch that in a boardroom, and then everybody else has to be like, "Oh, that's a great idea. Where'd you come up with that one from?" Like it has to still be a whole thing that it really shouldn't be.
I took 2 marketing classes as part of my like journalism degree, part of having to do a comm degree. And I just felt dumber coming out of marketing class than I ever felt in my life. I'm like, wait, like I'm being taught in a college course, we just make bigger, splashier words and add more words to things that confuse people so they think they're getting more out of them. Like, that's what I'm learning in base level marketing. That's what the world is. And I got really sad.
What's cool is when you go to the
Actually-
seminars and they're like, yeah, so like geofencing and like all these like horrible tracking things. I'm like, but we love it because we're in marketing. I don't know, guys. Sounds like a lot.
Doesn't it terrify you to like your core at some points? Or like, wait, this stuff works, and not only like people, it works on people. You're like, oh my god, like these people actually respond to this. But then there's the more subliminal stuff where you're like, oh my god, am I responding to this and I don't even realize it? This is terrifying.
And again, I didn't major in, so I know there's more to it. But like the introductory level was like, this is why fast food stuff does the thing it does. And I'm like, well, that means that like that's what they do. Like I'm learning the base level marketing that fast food employs. So I'm cool. I guess I'm qualified already.
And geofencing is both smart and horrific in the sense that, like, you know, if you're an advertiser, why would you want to pay money for impressions on things that are never going to get clicked on? Why would you not want to target specifically 45 to 65-year-old men for prostate screenings? Why would you want to even waste time having that pop up on someone else's screen? And, you know, so for saving money and targeting exactly your clients, that's great. but the implications of what that means is maybe less great.
I would love to be geofenced on all my streaming services so I get commercials I care about. Because right now I get a bunch of commercials I don't give a shit about.
Well,
It'd be great.
But it's cool, like specifically the location, like if you're at the mall, even though nobody goes there anymore, but then you get ads for like a store because you just passed the store and they're going to hit you with an ad because of like your physical location.
Yeah.
Pretty crazy.
I've seen that happen multiple times on my social media. It's like it's figured out what store I was in, or it eavesdropped on my voice of what I was saying, and it figured it out. I was like, oh, that's cool. Great.
So, whether it's utopia or dystopia is certainly a fine line, but, there are some practical benefits, and there are some things that we should probably be questioning more that we aren't yet. It's fine.
We probably should have stopped giving away our information to social media companies like we did for the last 20 years. But
probably.
Well, but then you start talking about cookies, and there are all these incentives for clicking on cookies, including, the worst case, you're not allowed access to the site. But a lot of times you don't get like the full access that you would have otherwise unless you accept all the cookies. It's like a whole thing.
And it's amazing how much value a single email address has and how little people will give up their email address for. Like, oh, you can
10% off.
Give us your email address for 5%, and you can. And it's like, okay, and now you're on a list like forever.
Yeah.
But you saved 5% on that one order, so good on you, I guess. Today's show is something of a reboot of an old segment that we're going to try and see how it does. Years ago, and I think this is pre this house, which means at least like 7 years ago, we had a segment that lasted a few months called Rapid Reviews. And in it, everybody had 1 minute to review a thing. They were timed, like there was an actual timer. This is pre-video, so you couldn't even see it, but I had it on my phone. And you just spurted out a bunch of words in a minute, and afterwards, everybody's aftermath was kind of like, okay, yeah, cool. And maybe there was a follow-up question, but it was really hard to digest because somebody just spewed things for a full minute. Our goal today is not to make things rapid, but more so to give people a floor to talk about something that they've been engaged with recently. Is that pop culture, a song, a show, a movie, a game? Is it something that they went to, an event, a play? Is it something that happened in their life? It doesn't have to be a hard review. If you want to give something a score, especially if it's a more traditional media, go for it. But it could just be your take on a given situation. And my hope is this. We have evolved a lot in 15 years, which, by the way, next week is our 15th anniversary. So if you're a longtime viewer or listener, please come check that out. I have something in store for you as well. And for 15 years, we've been honing our craft, and we are much better than we were at the start. My hope is that people bring things to this segment that they care a lot about and that the passion is infectious. We'll see. It could be that it still doesn't work because, as Sean notes, back then part of the problem was if it was something nobody else cared about at all, then it was certainly a way to shut down discussion. I don't think y'all are going to do that, though, and I think we've also come a long way in being more open-minded about things we have not engaged with. So my hope is that this works swimmingly. It might not, but we're going to try.
This is in fact the one thing that Sean has consistently complimented me on. Is that's like the only thing he's actually complimented me on always is my ability to have some sort of follow-up question on things that I have no idea about.
Yeah.
He looks stunned that he's like, oh, wait, I complimented you? True. Fuck that. No,
I thought there was like a complimenting on rapid reviews, and I was like, if I did, I have no clue. I don't even remember.
Anything Sean said 15 years ago is not.
My issue with rapid reviews was not even like that. That Cody brings up a thing that I'm not engaged in, even though Cody wasn't around. It was okay, a minute, but because it's a minute, there's no room for engagement. Yep. It's like I can't interject with anything. You have 60 seconds,
and then a point you made with 45 seconds left gets swallowed up by the remainder of that. It gets forgotten. Yeah. And afterwards, there's this sort of stun lock response from the rest of us, going like, "Cool, yeah." So that's not a problem here.
Right.
Now, everybody's going to have about 10 to 15 minutes to bring something to the table or multiple things if they want to. You can see the remainder of your time. You don't have to fill it. But I want you to bring something up that's been important to you in some way. Again, it could be a product. It could be a thing you went to, whatever.
I actually think we do have to give a score. Even if a score doesn't even make sense for what you did, we need a score.
I'm fine with that.
Score is mandatory.
Out of 10.
The thing what's wrong with Dave?
I don't know.
Sean, having to dictate the rules. That's all.
Yeah, you do. You just have to have one score. You just, like that. That's how you bring it home. I know what Cody's going to do. He can do a score on it.
Yeah. It's going to be very positive because that's the reason I'm bringing it up.
I think I know what Dave's. I hope he's going to do what he said he was going to do, or I'm going to be sad. And then that's easily going to have a score.
And it could also be something you hate. A lot of times we only bother to devote an episode or most of an episode to something because it was really good or really important to several of us. This is a way to make it a little more digestible, and if it is something that doesn't have staying power, then we don't have to linger on it. But
I
we're
have
not
a
going to
thing I
plow
hate.
through it in a minute because that was wasting material.
I do love the idea of having 10 minutes of grievances and just getting it off my chest
That's
at
how you
some
want to
point when
spend
I'm
your
grumpy.
time.
What else is new?
But-
I know, right?
Make it Festivus.
But the rest of
Make
us
it
might then
Festivus
shit
during
on
your
those
grievances.
as a response to it. If we don't feel like it fits the spirit of the segment, we might be like, oh, okay, yeah, that's the 7th thing you've complained about. Get out of here.
But you have to give it a score still.
That's right.
I'm going to give 0s or 10s. Either I loved
Yeah,
it or I hated
there you
it.
go.
Problem solved.
Well, why don't no, actually you shouldn't go first because yours is a boring thing.
Mhm.
We should have Dave go first.
Well, you and I were planning on doing a joint thing, Sean.
No.
remember?
Yeah, I mean, Sean wants to go first.
No. The joint thing, that even makes less, like, now we're just repeating the same thing. No, you do your thing. We'll interject. I still have it. I was telling Maisie, I'm going to argue with you about the ending. We're finally
This is great.
going to do the debate about the ending.
Finally.
Okay, so the thing that probably is the most popular thing and the thing in media that I've consumed most recently, even though it's been a little while since I've really consumed it, is Claire Obscure Expedition 33. And I will throw out here for the listeners, I didn't look how many people are actually watching right now. I'm going to spoil the ending and I'm going to spoil things in it. So
But not yet.
this is your warning.
Listen until he spoils
Not
it.
yet.
Right.
Don't jump right into
Yeah.
the end.
It's also been out for like 6 months.
Well,
It's
then
true.
he'll
It's
tell
true.
you when he's going to spoil it. But
Yeah,
that's
right.
time's not here. That has not yet come to pass.
So, I hate to compliment Sean, but this is a recommendation, and to be fair, most recommendations outside of 2 he's given me have been spot on. And Chris as well, because actually Chris is pretty much 100% as far as what he's recommended to me. Sean has 2.
Yes.
Because Sean recommended Returnal and Deathloop. I'm sorry.
I'm actually, it's so funny because my review today was going to tell you how wrong you are about Returnal, but we'll get there
Yeah,
later.
great. I don't give a shit what you think.
Yeah.
Though. I guess I give a shit about 80% of the time, and the other 20 I don't.
Yeah.
So, anyway, this was a recommendation saying how good it was, and to be fair, he was the total hipster of the crowd because he told me about it before the train really left the station. As far as the hype goes, hype was justified in a lot of ways. I remember turning this game on and running through the city, being like, "Man, I don't know what's going on here. I'm super confused." And by the end of the prologue, I felt like a gut punch happened, which is not a thing that you can happen a lot in a game. And as I played through the game, I just had a sense of wonder in the artistic style, the backgrounds, the world that was created, and then little breadcrumbs dropped throughout about what the actual story was about. And the entire time, I'm like, I have absolutely no idea what's going on. This makes me feel dumb, not understanding what the hell these characters are talking about, to an extent of like, am I ever going to figure this out? Like, you're speaking in this jargon that I have no idea what this means. As the picture developed, picture, you like that?
Aha!
As it all developed, it had such a satisfying ending because in the story, the way this story is written allows you, the player, to involve yourself in it so much because of the idea that they don't hand it to you on a silver platter. You get to experience what all this means to this characters in your own way with very little exposition of what's going on. And it makes it almost more personal in that sense of why this game turns out to be so good. And I haven't even really touched on what the plot is yet. That's that's the whole thing.
And it's funny because I always go back to like the Final Fantasy, inspiration, which I think there is a lot of it in this game, and it even does the thing that most good Final Fantasies do, where about 2/3, maybe halfway, it's more than halfway, but the big twist is more than halfway.
Mm-hmm.
There's a big twist that kind of changes a lot of things about how you understand the world or the characters, and all the good Final Fantasies do it, and this game did that too, and it takes everything that you knew, takes all the established rules, and then turns it on his head in a pretty good way, but in a way that is still compelling.
So here's where I guess I'll drop the spoiler alert because we'll just go on from there.
You even talk about the gameplay.
Of the game. Well, I mean the game. Okay, you're right. Let's do that first.
This is a review.
I want to know about the plot.
So,
well, we're gonna get to the plot, but
gameplay will start out with. I mean, I've said it before in this show. I gave Persona 5 a 10 because it's because of the turn-based gameplay. Final Fantasy X is one of my favorite games of all time because turn-based gameplay, the ability to see and strategically figure out what you're going to do as you go through the battle. This takes all of the elements that I feel like a lot of people like with real time, where you have to be active in your battle, and adds it in with the turn-based style that I love. I can sit there and strategize what I want to do going forward, while also have to be aware of what's coming next and dodging and parrying. So you get the active battle while also you get to strategize at the same time without having to be overwhelmed in the moment where you're like, okay, I'm going to try to figure out what spell to do. Oh God, they're attacking me. Like,
Yeah.
It allows you to not be overwhelmed and really make your best choices available. And I think this has infused the ability to have that gameplay in there, to have turn-based be popular again, is just like, it warms my heart in such a great way. So
Yeah.
I've read many people's reviews saying they don't like turn-based, they thought it was boring, and say, oh, well, but this was kind of fun. I'm like, yeah, go back and try other ones too. They're still pretty fun too.
Yeah. Yeah, I think the other part too, Dave, along with the turn-based, I am playing through Rebirth again, and the thing I'm realizing, like, oh, there's a reason why this is fine and not great to me, is there's no real customization with the characters. Like, I'm playing an RPG, but that's a game where not only is there not really any classes, there's very little in terms of customizing or different builds or whatever. And that was the thing I really appreciate about Clair Obscur, is like, you can go, there's not like one character where they especially excel. There's little classes in them, but it's more about like, I'm going to do like a burn build and everybody's going to be contributing to the burn, or just like high damage and everybody's going for that one big swing. What are you doing? Crazy.
Sean's so distracted.
So there's something I appreciate that I think the really good RPGs really makes them stand apart, is that ability to customize. So turn-based customization, gameplay is like exquisite.
Yep. And the only downside I'll give it is the platforming. We mentioned it on our year-end review. The platforming is god-awful, and there's certain parts of this game, it's like, why'd you put this in here? Like, really, why did this even get put in here? It's a real nitpick for what a majesty of game this is.
It's an incredibly small thing. It's just odd to me. I mean, I'm not going to belabor the point. I talked about it then. Just to recap it, if you didn't watch that episode, it's just like, it sticks out like a sore thumb among so many other really, really good choices, and the excellent art direction and the superb story. Like, everything is so finely tuned and wonderful. And then there's this that looks like the fucking 11-year-old cousin of the developers was the one in charge of it, and it shows. It's odd to me.
It's they always promote how it was a small team, and it feels like somebody just wasn't out there saying, like, you know what, cut it. Like, it's just not needed.
I think one of them, they leaned into it, which is, it was like a intentionally frustrating platforming sequence. But there were other parts where it was just part of the game, and there's the platforming in there, and that's not great. And it's a little stiff. Some of the animations are a little stiff. Like, it's not perfect.
No. And it lacks the gameplay, as far as the non-battle areas, lacks some of that polish you kind of, I guess, expect from a AAA title. It lacks some of that finalization. You mentioned some of the movements in platforming. Some of the movements as you move about the world are a little awkward and stiff. Like, when you're falling, it's the same motion every single time, that type of thing. And it's just little things that we have come to expect better from in modern gaming. Fortunately for me, I don't really care necessarily about that type of thing. It's not anything that's going to ruin my experience, but I can understand why people would be like, hey, you should fix that, make it a better title. And maybe this developer studio, with an influx of cash that they've received on this, will do that in the future. Regardless, that's not really the point.
Right.
We'll get to I guess we'll get to the plot now, because Cody's curious.
Get to the plot.
Run away, spoilers, run.
So, right, spoilers. Yeah, spoilers going forward. Anyway, plot is deep, man. So people are living in a world that basically blew up 67 years ago. They don't know what happened. And every year they've been trying to go across the sea to this island to figure out what happened. Except every year, people who are the age of a giant number that's painted on a monolith way out in the distance disappear. Just poof into rose petals.
They burst
basically
into petals. They die.
They literally burst into
And
rose
it started
petals
at 99, right?
I think it started at 99, yeah.
So
And it's
every
been
year
counting
ticks down. Now they're
So
in
every year-
33. So if you're 30, you're elderly and you're looking at 3 years left of your life.
So this has changed, obviously, this society to live life in a very different manner in which we would, because you don't live very long, and you kind of know when your expiration date is, which is a question unto itself. Yet every year, these people in their last year of life, so in this case, Expedition 33 is generally a bunch of 32-year-olds who have 1 year left of life, and they're going to try to figure out what's going on, because, as they call it, the paintress is the one out there in the future that is painting, in the distance, that's painting this on the landmark, saying, hey, guess what? You got this much time left. And the whole game, you are led to believe that she's the cause of this. This paintress is the reason this is happening. That's a bit of foreshadowing for the future. So you're going to stop the paintress. You're going to go fight the paintress. You're going to figure this out. I don't know how in depth I can go, because I can try to go through it, but as you go to the continent, you go across the sea to figure out what's going on, you encounter many different things, one of which is a man who eliminates most of your entire expedition the first time you meet him. And you come through the course of the story, come to find out this man is someone that is protecting the paintress. And we don't know why in the start, but he talks about doing it for your own good. That's the type of thing. And there's so much to the depth, it's hard to go through the whole story.
I mean, I think if you just say, like, there ends up being a lot more than meets the eye with the whole expedition and what you're... continue.
Yeah, so we go through the expedition, you go through the different lands, you go through getting the power-ups, essentially, and things that you need to access the paintress and defeat the paintress. That's the game. In between, things happen that are very, very sad. One of the main characters dies. There you go. I've already said spoilers. It's a whole deal. And is replaced by another person who seems eerily similar, yet is very different in many, many ways, and who definitely knows more than he's letting on. As you go, you defeat the paintress. Yay, woohoo. You think the game's over. I remember beating the paintress thing like, God, this game felt a little short. Well, it was a smaller independent thing. Maybe this is it. And you go back to the town and you're like, man, I'm going to go through this end game thing. And here's the celebration. And all of a sudden, the character that you picked up along the way, who knows more than he's letting on, reads a letter that basically says, yeah, the paintress was actually stopping everybody from getting wiped out. And this number on there was a warning of how long you got left. And now that you've defeated her, the real evil can just knock out everybody, and all of a sudden, everybody disappears. Every single person goes
Everybody
poof,
bursts
and you're
into
like,
petals, Cody.
oh my God, what is happening? It is a mindfuck. It is a complete mindfuck. Come to find out, one of the characters in your story is actually a real life person who has been living inside a painted canvas and has created everything that they want. Among the things, the person you picked up is actually died in real life, and this person that's in this canvas is just a painted version of that, who has the memories of his real life. And there's a whole family dynamic that's going on here. Lots of things going on in there. Kind of got to play it for yourself. But what I want to get to essentially is, as they go through, the painted version of this person that you picked up along the way named Verso decides that, man, I don't want to be in this anymore, because he's basically immortal. And the other person that you have in your party the entire game, named Mael, who's the real life person that was horribly scarred in real life, and then in the painted part isn't horribly scarred, wants to keep it going. And the debate of the ending that everyone goes on to is, as you go through the ending, basically you at the very end you need to make a choice. Do I decide that I want to shut down this painted canvas that contains an entire world and an entire civilization, essentially, of people who believe that they're real, who believe that they're living their life the way they would? Or do we want to go back and end this canvas to allow this family who had horrible things happen to them the ability to move on, and allow their son that is kept alive in a manner through this painted canvas, allow them to move on and grieve the way they should? And that leads to the ending, and it is much debated. Sean and I, unsurprisingly, differ on this.
Yeah.
Sean?
Now, I think it's an intentionally... So, like, the ending that you would think is bad, initially, like... the one where you wipe the painting, the ending is presented. There's a lot of happy stuff that happens. Everybody gets to say these like tearful, happy goodbyes, and it's very uplifting, even though it's the kind of the sad ending. the ending that, where you save everybody and they persist, there's some like dark sort of undertones. There's some weird music choices where you're like, is this actually good? So they are intentionally putting it to where there is no correct answer.
Mm-hmm.
But Dave and I still differ, and it's I saw the quote, Dave, where it was like, these motherfuckers crying about fucking Ciel's anguish and Gustav, and then at the end choosing the God family who created all the problems anyway. And that's how I feel.
So you believe wiping everyone makes sense, and Dave believes
opposite.
preserving them.
I preserved. Okay. So I preserved. Now Dave is saying the person who created the world is in the world.
Yeah.
So you can say like all they're doing is creating this fantasy land for themselves. The problem is we have every reason to believe strongly. There's no reason not to, that all of the people that are in there are sentient. They have free will. They're it's real to them, and it's wiping them out. Dave chose to wipe them out, but there's a real life soul that is like uses the energy to power the canvas. Yeah. So he's just trapped and he's begging to like, please let me go. To which I say, that sucks for you. But to let you go means killing everybody else, and I can't.
So you
do
trolley
that.
problemed it. You'd rather make one miserable than make all miserable. It's trolley problem.
Yes, correct.
Yeah.
Now, my issue with the ending, and I told Maisie this, there's a lot of the people who support the Verso ending. There's a lot of supposition that happens. Okay, in my opinion, that doesn't happen with the Mael ending. So, it is assumed. Well, do these people in the Mael ending? Do they really have free will? They're just puppets of Mael. You're just saying that. There's no reason to believe. We have a 5-minute ending and they're deducing all this crazy stuff that you just don't know. Is there a chance that that's happening? Sure, but you don't know for sure. That we don't know enough to see. So there's all this assumptions made to like make them feel better about killing everybody that you just spent the whole game with. And it also makes like a replay impossible, because why would you bother?
Mm-hmm.
The thing is, it's weird because this is the journey is more important than the destination, because the game is really great. And despite the fact of whatever ending you choose, it does have replayability because the journey is that great. But the way I see this, and like Sean mentioned, the person who is real in the real world also inhabits this canvas has essentially played God. And it's really, really difficult for me to have the idea that a mere mortal, someone that is a human being, is allowed to play God. And it really speaks to the difficulty in what grief means. And if you mask that grief, it will only hurt everyone around you for the rest of your life. And so because they had this terrible tragedy that came where they lost, the person in the real world that's in Mael, that's in the canvas, her brother was the one that died. Verso is the one that died. She has to deal, and the entire family has to deal with this grief of losing their brother. Yet, I think hiding in a fantasy world, which even if these people have real life, real thoughts, real free will, everything like that, it is still a fantasy world created by a human being. It does not allow this family to grieve in the real world. And you can say all of these people have free will, and that's fantastic. Unfortunately, human beings should never have this level of power. I equate it to the ending of Persona 5 Royal in saying that Maruki was wrong in creating this world.
You're
and
correct,
to me,
but
they're
it's
very
different
similar.
though. Like, so
It's different, but it's very
It is
similar.
different, but the parallels are there.
there are parallels, but I almost hesitate to use it as a comparison because I think it's misleading. So one is, again, it's creating a fantasy fake world where like free will is sort of there, but not really. And everybody gets whatever desires that they want. This is the foundation of the world is fabricated, but it's just like it exists. There's not behind the scenes machinations. Although you can argue that there is, but I'm coming from the viewpoint of we have no reason to say that. All we know, like, so I was talking to Maisie and I was like, if we're assuming things, why can we not assume that Mael was like, hey, everybody, you're all painted. Here's the real deal. I brought you back And, it's your choice if you want to continue here or not. And
You talk about supposition. Hold on. You talk about supposition. Let's say someone walked up to you today, Sean, and said, "Hey, guess what? You're actually in a world that I made up and I brought you back here. I'm the reason that you exist." I think the underlying implication would absolutely be, no matter how magnanimous and how generous that person is I can absolutely take you out of it too. So where's the free will when it comes to that?
well, I know. Again, we shouldn't go too far down this road because I'm just using it as an example of the opposite. Like, you can assume anything. As much as you can assume she has taken away everybody's free will and she's living in a fantasy land, you can also assume she came clean about everybody and was like, you guys get to choose. And the thing that we can take away from the ending is everybody except Verso seems very happy. And we get to see these relationships and these different dynamics continue on. And again, it's everything like they were fighting for. So I just don't know that we know. Here's the thing. Innocent until proven guilty sort of methodology. We don't know enough to say, yes, kill everybody. And you're absolutely right in like the grief. And I think what they're getting at and why it's such a tough dilemma is she's not moving on. She is in this painted world because she doesn't want to deal with the real life stuff. That's all true, but unfortunately the cost to me was too high. So I started at the point of number one priority is these are sentient people in the painting. They all have their lives and that they value and they want to survive. That's actually the whole point of the game is they want to live. We know that. So everything else kind of comes secondary. The grieving and everything else, while applicable and while you're right, it comes second to I'm just going to genocide the entire race of people.
I also went with the Verso ending and then went back and watched the other because, as you said, there's absolutely no reason to really go back and play through to get both. It was fine to do in video form.
Yeah.
One of the things I kept thinking about was I don't really have a horse in this race. I didn't really like either ending that much. I think it's interesting the thoughts that it provokes, and I like its expressions on grief and mourning and coming to process loss. You could even look at her decision to create the painted world in the first place in two different ways, which I think is both interesting and frustrating when it comes to trying to pick a side. It could be that this world is full of people that want to live because it's a reflection of her own thoughts on using this as escapism. The world, her world has been ruined, so this is her way to build a world in her image with people that really want to be resilient, and their free will is still ultimately a reflection of her own interests. Or it could be that she's been through so much grief, and now the painting is sort of like an expression of the idealized world, of things that she wants the world to be. She wants people to be kind and thoughtful and to value their lives and to fight for each other. And both those things are, again, supposition. It's really fascinating that they've created a world where you can interpret these things in so many different ways. I walked out of the Verso ending being like, I guess this is fine because I agree with Sean in the sense that, like, okay, the only person who's miserable is Verso, but boy, does he look fucking miserable.
Uh-huh.
Really, really fucking miserable.
It's funny. Chris, continue your point. I just wanted to say Ben Starr, the actor of Verso, was like, they asked him what ending to choose. He said, choose my L's ending because I give my best performance of my career. It was like, you got to see it. And it was like, yeah, you really do communicate how miserable you are, for sure.
It's not even miserable. It's not even just misery. It's torture.
Yeah.
I think that's to the level it gets you. It is truly torture.
Agreed.
Not misery, torture.
But Sean's right. Effectively, the other path is saying, like, well, then every other character relationship that you've seen in this game is sort of irrelevant in the sense that, like, it was temporary, it could be erased, and maybe that's fine in the grand scheme of things. And some people will say that's absolutely not. To me, I walked out of it being like, yeah, I guess this is just a shitty situation. There's a lot of people who are sad, and no matter which branch you take. So I didn't really pick a side on it. I guess I slightly prefer Versos, but both of them I just walked away from being like, yeah, that's a bummer.
And that's real. That's the truth. Actually, that's what they're going for. Is like they wanted no clear good ending.
Yes,
and
I
they got
respect the choice. Yeah, I think that's better that way. I think it's better than having one that was a good ending and one that was a bad, because that's just kind of what Persona 5 Royal did. The suggestion is like with Maruki, yeah, it's like this ideal, perfect world, but you can see the cracks in it.
Yeah.
So they very quickly present that like, okay, it seems like everybody got their wish fulfillment and all the problems are gone, but the game already kind of tells you that's not the case. This game doesn't equivocate. It just goes, yeah, like sometimes people are fucking sad, and no matter which way you look at it, they're going to be sad still. And I respect the choice.
Yeah. And again, like Maisie was like, you know what? I think it's great to, die. What a great release from everybody. And it's like, well, I mean, that's fair, but like, we're already sort of disagreeing from like the foundation. So Cody, you have the least context.
Yeah.
But what choice would you have made?
Well, so okay, I got stopped up by the everyone got dusted, but then there's people to still kill.
Oh, sorry. So they end up being able to reverse it. So when everybody gets dusted, the girl who now realizes her powers is able to recreate everybody.
Okay.
Which, and I will just say, she recreates the immediate party, and they're all the same, and they have their memories.
People who died along the way.
Yeah.
Okay.
So from that perspective, you kind of saw, if we're looking at evidence versus like assuming, we saw some evidence that like they at least seemingly are the same people.
Okay.
Now, can she do that on the global or the entire scale of civilization? I don't know.
The start out that Dave, sorry for asking these questions, but the start out that Dave explains is X number of years ago, everyone didn't know what the fuck happened. It's because that's when they get created. They have no memories beyond that because that's when they were like effectively made, is in a way.
It's more so like that people of a certain age go out on this expedition and they get fucking wrecked, so no one ever figures out what's happening.
Okay.
And every year the next generation goes, like, we know we gotta go that way. We don't really know what's happening. We've picked up little pieces of clues along the way, but we have no fucking clue what we're facing. And then they get there and they all get pretty much wiped out.
And the next expedition always finds logs from the previous expeditions in the island.
Okay. Yeah. I think in the game player, I'm playing the game world, I'm not killing everybody, because to the point of I just sat through all of this game and the relationships and seeing all that shit. I'm not going to do that. Like, that just seems like it's a bummer way for it to end, even if I'm making one person miserable from what I'm understanding.
Right.
To Dave's point of the real world application, he's 100% right.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, that's really unhealthy and really not the way to go about this. This like weird arrested development, lack of moving on type of thing. Dave's 100% right. So
add in megalomania, the fact that you're running an entire world at this point.
And the problem is Dave's also right in like, should these people have been using this power to create these like, absolutely not. Unfortunately, here we are now, and they already did it.
Yeah. And so I think I land on believing everything Dave said is absolutely right, and I'm right on board, and I still pick Sean's like actual ending because I'm just like, man, I went through all that fucking work. I'm not gonna wipe everyone now, and that's just like the I guess not detachment, attachment to the journey that you went on as playing the game. Versus if you played it and then you call me, hey, come over here, pick an ending. I'm like, fuck them, gone. Over, move on with your life.
Yeah, right.
Versus if I sat through the game, I'm not killing everybody. That's I think the answer I would have, because I wouldn't have the attachment, and I would be like, Dave's right, they need to move on, but I have the attachment of going on the journey. I think is what I would do.
It's a weird thing. It's a weird thing because I had an attachment to Verso so much so, I think, because of the torture I saw and the pain that I saw in there. And I believe me, so there's two things that happen depending on which ending you pick, which is phenomenal. I think they did such a great job in this. One, we talked about Verso being tortured. You can see it is absolutely just like very, very prominent how tortured it is. The other side of that, though, is if you pick Verso's ending and you wipe everybody, you get to see all of your characters that you spent the entire game with pissed off at you.
Yeah.
Like there is an ice stare from one of the characters, Lune.
I didn't know that. Actually,
oh my god!
So because I didn't watch it all the way through, I only read that like you see like he has a really touching goodbye with Monoko and the other guy. Eskie, thank you. Yeah, I didn't know Lune's like. That makes me even more do my ending.
the death stare. So CL is like accepting because she's like, whatever. I tried to kill myself once before already. Whatever. Yeah. Lune sits down in a crisscross applesauce cross leg pose, sits there and gives the most death stare. I hate everything about you. Look to Verso. As she fades away.
Luna's like, my girl anyway, so that's perfect.
It was like the most development she had too, so that was cool.
Exactly.
It's only in half the ending.
Yeah.
So anyway, it's tough choice. And really, I think it's a phenomenal set of writing because, again, they got to go to a point where they didn't hand this story to you on a silver platter. You absolutely had to figure it out. It does take some time to figure out what's going on, but when you do, all of the old dialogue earlier in the game that you didn't understand absolutely makes sense.
Yeah.
And it's really, really well done.
So Dave and I are pretty entrenched. We're not going to be, I don't think, changing our mind anytime soon. But it is fun when, like, so I saw something in the Orville and I was like, so, like, actually, you rooted for, like, the tyrants, huh? Like, Dave's rooting for actually the oppressors of the AI.
You know what else is funny, real quick? And we've talked about Persona 5 Royal. This game actually compares to a different JRPG, one that has been forgotten in the annals of time as it should be, and that's Eternal Sonata. If you don't remember Eternal Sonata, that was the Xbox 360 game where you're basically playing as Frederick Chopin.
Yep, going crazy.
It's because he's got tuberculosis in real life. He's about to die at the age of 38, and he's created this vibrant, cel-shaded world with fun, happy characters to basically hide from his own death. It turns out this actually sort of parallels that in a way. It's just much, 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 much better done because Eternal Sonata was fucking terrible, and this is a masterpiece. So, something to think about.
Anyway, Sean, what do you give a score on this game as a whole? You got to give a score.
I feel like I did before, and now I don't remember it. It was something like a 9.6 or 7. I'll lock in a 9.7 because I think Persona 5 I gave a 10, and this is like almost there. It's not quite. In some ways it exceeds it, but I think overall Persona 5 is like the complete. It's just like. It's so. Yeah. Oh, it was the character development. Everyone in Persona 5 so fleshed out. All the connections are so well done, and you don't quite get that depth here with the whole cast.
You get consistency for sure, and I like the fact of how well the characters stay in character the entire time of this. But I will agree, it's not exactly a perfect 10. To me, it's worthy of all the Game of the Year awards that it received this year.
Absolutely.
Because I think it was absolutely phenomenal. And the haters to it, I don't really understand other than just being a hater to it. If you don't, it's not your cup of tea, that's fine. But saying it sucks is, I don't know, whatever. Anyway,
is that from a gameplay perspective or a story perspective?
It's neither. It's mostly the haters are fans of other games that were up for Game of the Year and were upset about how much praise this game was getting in particular.
Shit. Okay.
It's so funny because I think fairly universally, people are like, Final Fantasy 16. I don't really love that they went full action. Like most people feel that way. They kind of erred in going full action. The same group that hates Clair Obscur is like, I love that they did full action and I never want them to go back. There's just like a certain subset of people that, I don't want to say anything mean. I just think their brains lack the ability to appreciate anything other than like brainless button mashing is what I would say. No offense.
Right.
I mean, yeah, if that's not your style of game, then... But like that's like me being like, yeah, I don't play these games, but I can appreciate that. Like there's depth to it and all that. It's like, yeah, I might not ever play it, but I'm like, but holy shit, like that sounds like a really special game for what it's going for and who it's applied to. But then I'm not gonna be like, that game's fucking stupid because you have to do this. It's like that sounds dumb.
Yeah.
So
what's your score, Dave?
I think I'm gonna land on a 9.5.
Okay,
I think
that's very good.
I really, really, really enjoyed it. It's I don't know where it's going to land in my top games of all time. I'd have to go look at kind of what I've ranked before and how I'd re-rank them now, but it's got to be pushing top 10 if it's not already in.
Yeah, I agree with that. I don't know if I can get in the top 5. I don't think so, but it's absolutely in the top 10.
Food for thought.
It's one of those games that is going to stick with me, and the story is going to stick with me in a way that, to me, Final Fantasy X did. And Final Fantasy X story stick with me so well.
Yep.
Food for thought. We are almost halfway to doing that again.
Yeah, that's crazy.
That was 2022.
Because it feels like we just did it.
I know. So, that is going to come up, and we'll see, what else has changed in that span. And this will be one that I'm like a 9.3 or a 9.4. Pretty much all the reasons already said. It really, really stuck with me. It's not perfect. It does not measure up to Persona 5 for me. It still is better in some ways, as Sean said, but the story and the premise, to me, the premise would have been good enough without the twist. The original idea and the sadness that they're able to conjure up, and just that part of it is already really good. To then turn it on its head as an examination of grief was like next level.
Yep.
Yep.
All right, we should
Yep.
do like Cody because for
No, Chris never gets to talk anyways. We always
No,
talk
I
over
want to know
him.
what Chris
You know what?
got.
That's fair, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mine will be like a tight 5 or 10, and I don't have a ton to go into, but I've been pleasantly surprised by it. I mentioned this a few episodes back, and I know you all at least have something to say about this. I am a fan of Chili's again.
Oh yeah.
I didn't go to a Chili's for probably 12 or 13 years. And Sean knows, I mean, the first place we went when Sean came back from LA
Yep.
from law school was the Chili's that we have in town. Because that was kind of our spot. He would get margaritas, we would get like the chicken crispers, like, and some things have changed in the interim where I wasn't there for more than a decade. They don't have the corn on the cob anymore with the chicken crispers, which was kind of sad. Like I used to like getting corn on the cob there. But also, it's by far the best bang for my buck that I can get. Not even necessarily just in a sit-down restaurant, but like it blows some fast food out of the water now because places like McDonald's have gotten so ridiculous. Like we've talked about it in that brand loyalty episode or a couple episodes we did. You know, I'm not paying fucking $14 to have food at McDonald's. Why the hell would I do that? Chili's has stuff for $10.99 that's much better quality than McDonald's anyways. So while this sounds like a free ad, you know, we used to do the whole ding thing way back in the
Ding.
day when we would do something that was a pseudo advertisement.
Still waiting for the ad money.
The fact that we can go there and they give us chips and salsa for free just because one of us has signed up for their emails.
Whoa.
And then you can both get this, like, there's different tiers to it. It's like 3 for me, and some of them are $10.99, $12.99, $14.99, whatever. But it's an entree with a side and also super salad beforehand and also unlimited drinks. So you can have a full-ass meal, because we don't even finish the chips and salsa, for like $30 for 2 people.
I love the chips and salsa too, actually.
It's good.
Yeah.
Their chips and salsa are honestly very good.
Actually,
Yeah.
I like yours a lot. That's crazy. This is weird because I think we did a sit-down restaurant tournament 4 years ago, 3
It's been a
years
while.
ago. something
Yeah, it
like
was
that.
early on when I came hopping on here almost full time.
Chili's was like number 3 on my I absolutely hate this place, I refuse to go ever again type of list. However, as I mentioned earlier with Chris's recommendations, I do take pretty good stock in that, and they've been pretty spot on. So it's really kind of scary to hear this in a way that this is okay again.
My parents have they used to not like Chili's, and they have recently, it's like one of their go-to spots. Now they're boomers, so who cares? But like, it's still, it's worth something.
How many TVs do we have in our local one, Chris?
Not a ton.
Not a ton, right?
Probably
Okay.
6 in the bar area and another 4 or 5 in the other various seating areas.
That's what I thought. There wasn't a ton of them in there. I think when I went in before, and I was like, oh, it's kind of a bummer. Like, I wish there was like a couple more. I know it's not a sports bar, so I get that they don't have them everywhere. But I think I remember going in there and being sad that not as many as
I like their baby back ribs, or I used to.
because the song.
No, it's because they were good.
Because the song.
They're pretty meaty too.
And they're
So-
still there. The fajitas are still there. Like some of the staples you'd expect are still there. It's very meat heavy, which would sound like a problem with a vegetarian girlfriend, but because of everything around it and the value, even though we know we're going there and she's going to get a black bean burger, everything else still makes it worth it. She gets to drink as much tea as she wants to. There's like 5 different flavors of tea. She's going to get a salad on the side, and it doesn't even have to count. Like the chips and salsa can be a side in that deal. We don't have to do that because we get that for free on the side anyways.
Yeah.
And they'll let you box up everything. They're like, you haven't even eaten the chips and salsa? Take them. You want a drink to go? Here's a drink to go. So they're adding more and more stuff on top of the fact that you can already have a meal for 2 for like $30.
And I hate to admit this, but like I'll go to like a authentic Mexican restaurant and they'll try to do like a frozen margarita, and like it's bad because they don't like have the stuff.
Because they don't have a real bar.
Yeah.
Like
And so-
it's like they're half-ass blending.
So they put it
like
in a
that.
blender and it like sucks, and then I go to Chili's and it's like way better. But
Because
you
I mean,
know,
Chili's really is bar. It's a bar. It's like
Yeah.
a full-on,
Yeah.
full service bar that they have there to get.
yeah.
And like to name a local place, Martin's, which I like quite a bit. Martin's has really good food. If you can catch them when they're not busy as fuck, it's a good experience. But they charge pretty heftily for chips and salsa now.
Yeah.
And yeah, again, like it's
That
only
feels so
free
weird.
at Chili's if you have somebody gave an email address to be part of the rewards program. But it's like I don't want to pay $11.99 for chips and salsa as an appetizer. That's a kind of a deal breaker for me.
That's
That feels
crazy.
Really weird to not have it free. Like that's just wrong.
I
It
think
feels
that's
like.
relatively
It is.
new.
It's a post-COVID thing.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. I
Because some
that makes
places,
sense.
some places will do a dip trio where they'll go like queso, guac and
Fine,
salsa.
and I'm fine paying more
but
for that.
they'll charge you like to Chris' point, like $12.99 for it. So it's like, okay, so now I'm paying $12.99 for a little bit of queso and a little bit of guac when I was getting chips and salsa for free.
Well, that's fair, but at least there's like
There's a new added incentive to it, like
to just do the basic chips and salsa as a charge now.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
And I also do think that some of that's a Flagstaff thing, because there's like when we go to Casa Grande, Raya has her Mexican restaurant that she grew up with. It is still free chips and salsa, and it's a full-on, to your point, Mexican restaurant.
Do you know what? I'm pretty sure Salsa Brava they would charge for refills.
Yes.
I don't think they do that anymore.
They don't have an open salsa bar anymore, though, do they?
No, they don't have open anymore,
Yeah.
but they have to bring it to you.
Yes, they have to bring it to you. I think but do you only get one or two? You can't go and sample all 5, 6 salsas. I think you have to pick one or two, and maybe I'm wrong on that. I don't want to be.
I don't remember.
I just
remember thinking like they charged for a while, and then now they're like. And I wondered at the time, was there a lot of pushback?
And to be fair, like Salsa Brava might have brought that back, because I believe John does the minimum wage service charge that a lot of restaurants in Flag do now.
Oh,
so that might be the trade-off, is you're paying a 3% increase on whatever your total bill was. And that might be what he chose to do instead of, and that's interesting. I didn't know that. Amazing. There's only 3 salsas now.
Oh yeah.
That might be the trade-off, is that he chose to do that on the bills, and then that's what lets you have chips and salsa for free again.
Okay.
Which, to be fair, in the grand scheme of things, if you're getting free chips at all, that's a trade-off for the.
Well, especially the amount of chips I eat.
Yeah,
I'm going 3 buckets at least.
Undoubtedly.
Yeah.
The crazy thing, Chris, is I think the craziest thing about Chili's that you mentioned in this is the fact of it is the same monetary output as going to McDonald's now, and that's a great praise for a place that truly, it's usually that next level up. You know, you think of the McDonald's, the Burger Kings here, the next level of like, you know, the Chipotle's, the sort of sit down restaurants, and then Chili's is like one level above that. And if you're getting the same value out of that, it's like, well, okay, why wouldn't you in some sense?
Most sit down places that we go to, we eat out a decent amount, a couple times a week now, because I know my relationship is the thing we like to do. $40 to $50. Maybe 55 when you start factoring like tip and stuff. And we don't even get like drinks.
Yeah,
she might get a drink, like, you know, a tea, a soda, something, coffee if it's breakfast or brunch. But we're not putting $30 of alcohol on that tab. And it's still getting up to $50-$55. It's gotten to the point now where we have a place called Black Bart's here, the steakhouse. And you get like a show there. And on the surface, you're like, oh my God, like a steak could be like $35. And it's like, when you start looking at everything you get, like all the sides that come with it and stuff like that, I would almost rather pay like the $70 it might cost us to go there than the $55 it's going to cost me to go to fucking, I don't know, pull a name out of a hat from a local restaurant.
Well, that's what that's what, like having a Texas Roadhouse. Texas Roadhouse used to be a pretty solid price, and it has increased in the last 5-6 years. And it's not nearly as. Well, I don't go. I used to go there constantly, and I don't go there at all anymore.
Yep.
Well, and then when I go to places now, like to even get enough food, I have to be like extra chicken or extra whatever, and then it's like, damn.
Well, and then. Imagine getting 3 kids meals on top of that as well. It's one of those things where it's like, and kids meals aren't cheap anymore. Kids meals are like $9 each.
Yeah, like $8.99, right?
Like, it's just like, what? It's a kids meal.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So
even some other places that used to be mainstay, like this, the place called the Pizza Guy in the Safeway Plaza. I used to get their lunch special a decent amount. I'm like, well, I'm here for Safeway anyways. I'm picking up some groceries, so I'll stop by there when it was, you know, like $4.99 for a couple slices and a drink. It's $8.99. For their lunch special now for 2 slices of pizza. They're decent size, but $8.99 is the price of a pizza.
Yeah, right.
Which it isn't either. Like, you know, Fratelli or Mark is like $20 now, but you get the idea. It's like, oh my God, like I don't eat out a ton in the first place. If I'm going to do it, the fact that that's a good value proposition to me makes a lot of difference.
To go to a pizza place now and you're gonna like, oh, okay, I want to get like 2 large pizzas, and you're looking at $50.
Yes,
is crazy.
Yeah. And I still can rationalize it because everything else has gone up to where I'm like, well, how many meals is pizza?
Sure. Yeah,
like,
that's
I get
true.
like 2 large pizzas and an appetizer side thing, and it ends up being $55 or whatever. Well, I'm like, well, between me and Ryan, it's like, well, 1, 2, 3, 4. It's probably like 5 meals. I'm like, all right, well, if I'm going to eat out and it becomes about $10, $11 a meal. Well, shit, that's actually not that bad.
Well,
but
there's 2 things. One is you're right, like compared to like the environment,
a single meal is like $15.99.
But compared to like what it used to be, it's pretty depressing. Also, though, Maisie and I can easily, if we're hungry, we can be pretty damn close to polishing a pizza each.
Yeah, exactly.
So now we're not talking about like multiple meal. We're talking like probably 2 meals.
Yeah, and that's not good enough for that much money. Not at all.
$50.
Not
Then again,
compared-
to Chris's point, $50 is like, yeah, that's like going. So
Well, because then I think of
just
like
the
when we went
inflation
to
everywhere.
yeah, because then I think of when we went to Old Spaghetti Factory, and I was like, with the amount of food we got there, and I was like, the price we paid, I'm like, shit, man, that was a great deal. This was really good quality food. We had to pay a little bit higher than normal, but I got so much shit
Yeah.
that I'm like, I thought that was a great deal as we were sitting there. And I'm like, holy, I didn't have any fucking realization it was going to be that good of a deal.
I would go to Chili's again. I would get a margarita and chips.
The trio, the appetizer trio, when you do the Crispers and the Southwest egg rolls and one of the other things is really fucking good.
And the Crispers are better.
Yes.
The loss of the corn on the cob is sad, but they have broccoli as a side now that I really like getting. And it's also somewhat healthy, so great. But the Crispers used to be the biggest problem I used to have years and years ago when I would go regularly was that they would be too breaded sometimes, like really too breaded sometimes. Not a problem anymore. So that has gotten better in that regard. I do still kind of miss corn on the cob. It was the thing I kind of associated with there, but whatever. The fact that I can save like 50% compared to some other places we might go out to eat and we both like it, it's a slam dunk now.
I'm surprised given
I'm surprised.
the pricing of corn on the cob, especially during the summer when this grocery store is selling 5 of them for fucking $1. That's not a monetary gain for them to keep it on the menu, at least seasonally.
I don't know if it's a cost thing or if it's just because it's really easy to turn out big batches of macaroni and cheese, which is what comes with it now, a white cheddar macaroni and cheese, which I sub out for the broccoli. So like maybe it's just easier to mass produce that than it was because you only fit so many half corns of the cob inside of a big ass stock pod.
That's true.
So I don't
What's
know.
a Chili's score? Actually, you know what? Do a then and now.
Better now than then.
Yeah.
Which again, after not having gone for 13 years or something, was just like, wow, like I didn't think this would come back into my life. Now it's like a 9.5. Because there are so many different options on the 3 for me menu that you don't even have to like get stale if you don't want to. I usually get the chicken crispers, but there's like 12 or 15 different things on there. You can mix it up. So just as far as affordability and the fact that it's good, it's like 9.5. And back then it was probably like an 8 or an 8.5. So it has gone up in a decent amount.
It was everything he explained is why I love Red Robin so much. And I wish we had one. I believe Dave doesn't like Red Robin if I remember right.
It's
fine.
okay.
Yeah, it's
I
fine.
like their garlic.
But like because again, you can get an endless side and things like that, and they're
Yes.
doing a $9.99 meal and a $12.99 meal. And Ryan and I have realized, well, we can get the biggest fucking burger possible for $15.99, split it, cut it in half, and have an endless side. And now I've cheated, and we each paid $8, and maybe we get an appetizer with it. I'm like, I'd rather eat half a burger than a whole one with all the fries I have. I'm like, I can eat out pretty cheaply there. Like everything Chris says, why I liked that so much, to the point of you're getting free chips and sauce. Like you're getting some kind of perk on top of whatever else you're going to get there. And if it's priced reasonably well, in this fucking day and age, pretty good deal.
Infuriating to play the game though, isn't it? Like to have to be like, well, I got to do this part, and like, it's tough. I get it. Why
you've made this point with the fast food apps of having to have every fucking app, and you're like, this is the only way I can get affordable food, and I'm like, yeah, no, it fucking sucks, doesn't it?
Yep. But I mean, it's the same problem. I've actually gone back to Subway a bit recently. Another one that surprises me because I was out on them for a long time. But it turns out if you're going to offer me $6.99 foot-long subs and buy 3 get 1 free, all of a sudden that's actually cheaper than a $5 footlong. I'm getting 4 footlong subs for $18. And the $5 footlongs have been gone since, well, Jared went to jail pretty much. So all of a sudden I'm like, okay, like I'm not going into Subway expecting it to be the best, but if it's a decent alternative and it's going to be like $5 a sub, I'm interested again because again,
Dude,
I'm not going to pay $15 fucking dollars
every
to go
time
wherever.
I charge my car in the Anthem Walmart, and I go in and I get Subway, and I get the tuna foot long, and I get chips, and I get 2 cookies, and it's like a great price. And I enjoy the food. I like Subway.
I mean, relative to the price, again, I think Jersey Mike's tastes a lot better. But with how expensive Jersey Mike's
is it a lot more expensive?
Oh, fuck yeah.
And it was the same thing with Subway. If you're not being deal savvy, you're going to run into that same problem where a sub might cost you $14 or $15, and I was not going to pay that. But I will pay a third of that.
Yeah.
Yeah, because like Jersey Mike's is like, for what equates to their small version, which is, I guess, not quite a 6-inch, but it's pretty small. It's like $9.99 or so, basically. Yeah. And again, what was that?
It's like 5 inches. It's crazy. Like they can't even do a full 6 on their small size for Jersey.
Yeah, it's not that big. And they're charging you a decent amount of money. I went there a bunch during the football season because they had a partnership with the NFL this year, and you made picks and you got points, and I kept racking up points by picking each week. So I got like 5 free subs from Jersey Mike's, and I was like, sweet, I'll go get a side. And I'm looking at the price as I'm like getting the discount off, and I'm like, $10.37 or whatever after tax. I'm like, I can't fucking believe anyone pays this.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
And so
I did a.
Sorry, go ahead.
Do you know the sandwich place? They it's in town. It's kind of like a fancy sandwich place. I
A
can't.
chain or a local place?
It's a local.
Fire Creek.
No, it's like not like a sub sandwich, like a regular. I don't know what Fire Creek is actually.
Well, we have a lot of delis. You mean proper
No,
downtown? No.
it's on the east side, maybe. Anyways, I was getting their delivery. One sandwich was like their cranberry mayonnaise turkey sandwich, and when you factored in delivery, which is a whole probably topic we could spend time on, it was like $30 for a regular like bread cut in half sandwich when you get that delivered.
Wildflower?
No,
Oh,
no,
no.
I would know Wildflower.
I don't know. Maybe your name. You
Well,
forgot.
there is a sort of Thanksgiving-esque one he likes from Wildflower. But
That
this
is true.
This
That's
is a
what
different
made
place.
my thought go there. I'm like, I don't know. Like,
But that one
there's
is-
Brandy's and Eat and Run, and I don't know what else would be.
that one's huge though. The Wildflower. I love the Wildflower one. It's probably a little expensive. I don't even know, but
Okay, Wildflower's expensive anyway. That's like
yeah, that's true.
Fuck, I don't know what you're.
So,
So-
I feel like we should do like a part 2 because I don't want
do
your
a part 2.
well we could end the episode now if we're not going over. I don't.
Did your review of what you want, or did you?
No,
just,
so
just
you and I
hijacked
go
it?
next time.
Yeah, the intent is to kind of have this be one that we can plug in wherever if there's
Yeah.
some mini
I mean,
reviews
again,
we
I
want to
don't,
get
I don't,
to.
I don't
or-
need 30 minutes for mine. So
No,
yes,
but
you're
you,
right.
Chris, because the problem is Chris could have done that in like a type 5, but we had all these questions and things to add
Yeah.
on. We're gonna do that with you too.
No, you're
Yeah.
not, because you don't care.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. I could spend 30 minutes talking about how much I hate curling, and that would be fine.
Okay, well, you know what? That's offensive, and you don't know that you hate
That
it.
is
I
very
don't.
offensive.
What do you mean? You think I don't
don't
know?
know. You don't know.
You
You haven't given it a chance.
I have a reputation with you just because you're like the most sport person that I like don't know any sports.
No, you hate
I-
all sports besides basketball.
That is not true.
You hate all sports. It's fine.
None of those things is true.
mean,
So I think we do
You
a
don't
part
enjoy
2.
any other sport.
So
other than
we have next week we have an anniversary episode.
Yes, and then we
The
were supposed
week
to do
after
trivia.
we have trivia. The week after we just do part 2.
So the week after, I will at that point be reviewing the Winter Olympics.
That's
because
better
they will be
anyway.
completely-
You were
Yes.
already going to break the segment, so this
Yeah,
is
that's what I'm
good.
saying. So then it will be. Then you would just. I will look back on it, and
Yeah.
in the meantime, everyone should watch the Winter Olympics and give it a chance because it's basically Ice ESPN Ocho. It's a bunch of fucking weird shit that a bunch of foreigners made, and then we got really good at all those sports. And that's the best thing I can start off by saying, and I will continue in 4 weeks.
Great. And I am going to talk about how Dave didn't like Returnal because he played it wrong. And he refused to engage with the systems that were there. And I want to explore that because I just played through it again, Dave. And I was like, there's no way Dave like did this trick or like there's no way he did this. He also said he spent 10 hours. There's no fucking way you spent 10 full hours on it. I refuse to believe it. Just based on what you told me, there's no way you spent 10 hours on it.
No, I absolutely spent 10 hours on it, and I didn't even beat the one boss.
I know
That
there's
was the
no way.
problem
There's
with
no way it was 10. It was at 6. Was
No,
it
it was.
7? I would believe that. There's no way it was 10.
I'm gonna pull up my gameplay log.
Pull up your
Yeah,
gameplay
well,
log, but we'll talk about this. This is
I
going
might
to
have
be
also
my
deleted
talk in
all.
2 weeks. There are systems, Cody, and Dave just wants to play how he wants to play. But like, you got to engage with the system.
No, because you play
This-
video games for fun and as an escape from stuff. You
No.
don't have to be forced into shit.
If you're
Thank
going to
you.
play the game,
Thank you.
no, hold on. If you're going to play the game, but you refuse to engage with the systems, you can't like be like, oh, whatever. Here's my review of the game.
No. Oh, it's very easy. If you don't engage the systems, don't enjoy the systems, it's very easy to say, "Hey, this game's not for me. Here you go.
Yeah,
I
know,
didn't
but
enjoy
like,
it."
before you can say if it's for you or not for you, you gotta give the vision a
What if the
chance.
systems
You know what I
aren't
mean?
enjoyable?
You gotta
the
give the
systems
vision
aren't
a
enjoyable?
chance.
The stunning part is that Sean could just be mad at Dave for not liking the game, and that would be fine.
Yeah.
But it has to go to this other level where like Dave has to be wrong because he didn't like
Yeah.
one of Sean's recommendations.
Exactly. That's exactly
So
it.
you're like, again, this is random, but like you're basically like saying like the lyrics to the Gambler to him. What is it? It's if you're gonna play the Game Boy, you got to learn to play it right.
Yes.
It's
And I,
basically what
you
you're
know
like
what?
shitting
And
on
I
him
love
for.
The Gambler. That's a great song, and I sing it a lot. Ask Maisie.
The funny part is he's actually confusing Returnal and Deathloop because
No, I'm not. No.
made that-
No. You did the same thing with
You are,
Deathloop.
because
You
you made
did
that
the exact
complaint
same thing with
about me.
Deathloop. But you also, I'm realizing that Returnal, there's a, here's what I wanted, Dave. I wanted you to be like, this game's kind of hard. What are some tips? And I'd be like, well, you got to be open to kind of using the malignancy. You can't shy away from malignancy. There's a trick to increasing your max health a lot. There's no way there. I know you didn't do that. So there's like tricks. I could have mentored you through the game, but you just gave up.
You didn't want to take his advice and how to play it exactly like him.
And Deathloop is easier to bludgeon with a hammer than Returnal is, so there's a clear difference there.
Yeah. That is true.
The exact thing you're going through is why I don't even like buy these games or try them or turn them on, because I would do what you do, like, I don't really want to do it, and then Sean would yell at me and tell me I'm playing it wrong. And I'm not even trying to give it a chance. But like, no, I don't have an attention span for that.
Look,
that's the answer.
If you played it right, I would not be upset.
I would
because
right. I would just cheat.
If you played it right, you would like it. And then we would be on the same side.
Besides, cheating's half the fun in Persona because nobody knows half the fucking answers to those test questions anyway.
Yeah, exactly.
I cheat in Persona and every chance I get. So
yeah.
Anyway,
well, there you go. The whole goal of this is to give us something new that's kind of an in-between episode, because these can be anything. They don't even have to be traditional reviews. It can just be something that happened or something you want to talk about. It's that simple.
And to be clear, I'm going to review Returnal, but through the lens of here's what Dave did wrong. Dave, I want you to know I already rebeat all of Returnal. It took me like 15 hours. I started from scratch.
I give a shit that you did it.
I beat the first boss. Dave, I want you to know I beat the first boss on my first run. Okay?
He's better at games than you loser.
You understood it. You understood
That's what I'm saying.
and want to engage with the gameplay loop. I didn't enjoy it.
Well, then that's just, we're going to talk through that. We're going to explore that with you. You're going to get on my chair.
It's been 2 years since I tried to play it.
Oh, I know. So you're going to probably forget some stuff. So it's going to take a little bit of time. You're probably going to need 10 hours.
Great.
So the best thing is, Chris,
we're gonna sit there with the same bated breath that we do Sean's "This is how many books I read this year" list.
Yeah. How many was that?
I don't fucking know because I don't pay attention to that.
The best thing about this is I'll just come back with dumb experiences of shit and then rant about them in either a positive or negative way, while Sean is then just in these segments yelling at Dave about video games. And it's great. It'll be a nice balance in there, because honestly,
this is good.
Because we even agreed on Clay Obscure and I still yelled at him. Yeah.
Because there is a chance, Sean, by the time we do this again and I get to talk about the Winter Olympics, I might have gone to a curling lesson in Phoenix, because I'm definitely trying to go do one.
I want to do that.
They're in Tempe, Dave.
Curling would be pretty fun.
They're like $75 for 2.5 hours to learn, and they're only on random Saturdays, and I'm like actively trying to find time to go do it because I really want to go.
This is what I want. I want to have a spot where we can talk about stuff like that.
Yeah.
Because a lot of times we have so many structured episodes with a thing to do, which is a good thing overall, but it doesn't leave us a lot of room to just shoot the shit like we did way back in the day when we had no structure and no idea what we were doing.
Yeah. Wait, what's the sport? You're totally right, Chris. Sorry. But this is actually furthering your point. What's the sport where you slide this, but it's sand? So it's like curling, but with sand. Board.
Shuffleboard.
Shuffleboard.
Shuffleboard is when you have the board that you sprinkle sand along at bars.
So the shuffleboard, great to play, super fun. I would not want to watch an Olympic sport on it. So that's like, to me, in curling. I agree with you. Go learn curling. That sounds cool. I don't want to watch curling.
You don't want to watch it. It's like golf. You wouldn't want to watch
or bocce ball or anything else that's kind of a similar pseudo game, half sport.
It's so funny to me, all these like grown individuals like sweeping.
I've been calling curling bonk hockey for fucking years, because there's something about bonking someone else's big stupid stone off of shit that is really satisfying to me. When I'm a vindictive person, don't you think a sport in which all you do is spend half the time fucking the other team over wouldn't that appeal to me?
Yeah, it would. And I think well, you know what? Actually, I'm not going to say anything else because
anyway,
this is at least showing that I think this is good to go for the future, because we were about to end the show, and then Sean spent 7 minutes yelling at Dave about Returnal, and then Cody already dipped his toes into 4 minutes of curling. So
we got to stop. Yeah.
No, I have more winter sports to go over. Trust me.
Yeah, that's true. For next time. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, look how much attention the one U.S. trial got for the bobsled trial, where like 3 of the 4 guys missed out. And then one of them like did a flip and spun out. And
Maisie saw
there's so
cool
much
runnings.
Pain in the Winter Olympics.
Maisie has not watched cool runnings yet.
What the fuck is wrong with her?
I don't know.
Lindsey Vogn's about to complete on a ruptured,
On a fucking
I don't know
blown,
what
pulled
she's doing.
ACL.
on a
Yeah.
ruptured ACL. Yeah.
There's so much pain and so much crashing and anguish in the Winter Olympics
Yeah.
that you don't get in the summer ones, and I just fucking love it. It's
This is-
That's
so
actually true.
chaotic.
Because I mean that's
Mostly 'cause they're on
illustrated
ice.
just by oh fuck the one where you're bobsled by head first.
Skeleton or
Luging.
Oh,
Or
skeleton.
skeleton. Yeah.
Oh, skeleton is
Skeleton's
the-
head first and luge is
Foot first.
Skeleton alone makes the Winter Olympics the most hardcore fucking
It's
thing in
great.
the world. Yeah.
It's so fucking stupid.
And
Anyway.
the giant ski jumps and shit.
Yeah.
But that's
it's
my
fucking
fault.
dumb.
I opened the door to another minute about the Winter Olympics.
That's
That's
fine.
on me.
That's
I got to
fine.
be a better host than that. That's the end of this episode. We will be back with more review Q, as we're calling it, because rhyming. We don't have to name everything buzz, buzz, buzz anymore, so I can be cute with rhyming. But more review Q in the future. Next week, again, our 15th anniversary. We started in February of 2011. So I want to do some reminiscing, and I also want some folks who have been here for a long time to show up for the live one if you can, because I have a thing for you in the chat as well if you make it to the live one. That's at youtube.com/@grayareaslive. So tune in next Tuesday, 8 p.m., the 10th, and join us for our 15th anniversary show. I know we've done a little bit of that on like the 100 plateaus, but this is different. So join us for that, and then trivia should be 2 weeks from now. That's the end of the episode. You can also go to grayareas.live to find those 15 years of archives. We'll see you next week.